thank you again for joining. It's a big,
Thank you for giving me an opportunity, Vikas.
yeah. So
And
can we
I'll
start with your introduction? Just
absolutely. I completed my graduation. Honestly, I'm not a graduate. I have done my diploma after 12th. And at that time, I was fascinated about electronics because that was the new branch that was introduced. I'm talking way back about 1988. So as I was also fascinated, but I did not get chance to got into the degree. So I chose diploma as my option. And after completing diploma, I could see, or when I joined my first assignment and my internships, I could come to know that we have a very little exposure on electronic side, uh, and specifically, I'm from Gujarat, so I could see little exposure there. So I switched gear to computers, and I learned my computers from an IIT. I learned COBOL, C, C++, Unix, and initially I was like any graduate student today also. They are behind the coding. They just wanted to be a coder, or they just want to go in a software development side. So I also, the same with me, I also was wanting to be a software developer. And I could get some of the Fox Pro. At that time, Fox Pro was very popular. So I got some of the assignments, but then my life really changed and took a turnaround when I met whom I say today as my mentor. He just asked me a few questions. It was an interview, job interview, and he just asked me, Hital, you want to be a software developer, but do you know that before you develop it, you need to sell it also? So how do you do that? So I would say first one should learn to sell and then go into the development. And that really struck my mind. Yeah, he was right in a way that one should know how to sell your product before you develop something. So then my life got changed. I joined him as a sales representative there, and he was into software industry only. So, and I took a job, and it was a challenge. And he also believed that there was an era like girls were not moving much into the sales portfolio. So he challenged me that, Hetal, would you be able to do this? And then it was a challenge. So I grabbed it, I did it, and since then I would say, into the technical sales. I would not say it was a pure sales, it was a technical sales. So uh, with that, I started my career. I was selling Microsoft licenses then, and then again there an era came for a telecom. So I joined a telecom company, and at that time, internet was not privatized. It was only from some of the government agencies or government organizations, PSUs, they were providing internet services. So, and at that era, we were providing education, we were uh, uh, upgrading to enterprises and companies about what is lease line, what is frame relay network, what is how data can be distributed for them, for their branches. So it was literally a educating era. And in 2001, I would say, or 2002, internet got privatized. But at that time, on that watch, I took a break from my career. It was a sabbatical, like for my kid, I took a break. And after 5 years, when I had come back, it was totally changed world. And so at time I felt that, okay, the things where I left and today where I have entered, there's such a huge gap for my knowledge person. And it took me somewhere around 2-3 months to regain or to recollect or to understand the new terminology, the new vocab with the internet era has started. So I did that, and after that, again I joined the same organization with, and I then I keep on growing. But one thing, I worked so hard when I was in a telecom, and even I restarted my career. That for people, those who want to go into the management side, I would suggest that only management degrees won't be suffice to get business. You need to do a very hard work. At that time, we were doing cold callings because internet was not there. No LinkedIn's were there. No platforms were there. We used to go building to building, door to door, factories to factories maybe, and we find out, we talk to people, we try to get along with the teams, IT teams and all. So that hard work pays off, because at that time I could learn more of the psychology of the companies, how they purchase or how they pursue, that might be a lacking in the era of LinkedIn's and internets, because I work personally, so a personal touch. So I would say that if you really want to be succeed in management or in sales kind of portfolio, you should be a very hardworking, meet as much as you can to the people, understand them, understand their working style, the technology, because always our sales is technology. Yes, absolutely, technology is one of the area, but to understand the psychology and the pain points and the problems of a company would lead you more successful than you just go and sign some literatures or brochures to them.
Okay.
So that is one thing. So after that, in Adit Microsystems, I keep on learning. So one thing was the only constant, that the learning. So learning should not be stopped. It should be always a constant. And I always believe in that change is the only constant. So you need to keep pace with changing industry, with changing scenarios, with changing mentalities of companies. Like as you see that I think before pandemic, what I was facing, or I had a issue getting challenge. I was facing a challenge getting job work from home. Companies were like, if they are into the Bangalore, they will prefer that an employee should be from a Bangalore itself. But with the pandemic, that situation has totally changed. Like now if I could see on all the job portals and all that, they just place it, location is not important. So yeah, this is a very positive change, I would say. So that is one thing. So change is driving so many things there. So and that is all about me. Today I am into the cloud technology. So it took me from COBOL era to Unix era to cloud technology era. So I have gone through all those changes of industry. I've sold almost all those technologies, like starting from DOS to Windows to Linux to Unix to today cloud EC2s and VMs. So yeah, that is the journey that everyone should be doing in their life, and they should be updating themselves. Any specific questions you have?
Yeah. You said you started sales after some years of development.
Not some years of development. In fact, I would say I have not done, apart from my internship projects, I have not done any development, in a commercial development, in a development job at all.
Okay.
So I went for an interview for a development job But then too, I got, yeah,
Okay.
I took it on a sales side and started the
Okay.
sales
So how was the
journey.
first assignment in sales? Like how?
Oh, it was very tough for me. I was not knowing even in Ahmedabad, and I used to go. I had one chit with me, and it was written I had to go to Mafatlal Mills. I don't know where it is, to whom to meet. Even I was not told anything. So it was very exciting. I reached there. I meet people there. I find out who's the right contact there. So right now we have all everything in a LinkedIn. I just search and get that who is the cloud architect, or who is the VP, or who is the CEO. So there we used to go personally and find out who's the guy there. So or from the balance sheets we used to know
Okay.
that this company has this
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
But did the people cooperate, or they just told
Oh
you that
yes,
was
yes,
okay?
they do cooperate. They do
Okay.
cooperate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's a part and parcel of a sales journey, because you get. But majority of the time, or maybe I have never ever had those bad experiences that people have not cooperated, or they have not even given you time for that
Okay.
matter. But yeah, for say telephonic, yes. I have experienced that. Then we usually go after telephonic stuff. But many of the time, because telephone did not reach through a right person, so we had to go personally and find out the stuff.
Okay.
So that was the case. No, but
Because
it was
okay.
good. They were quite cooperative. Yeah.
Because a lot of techies, when they try to sell something, there's a lot of block there. No, I'll never get this. So you did not feel like
Yeah. So that the thing is that, yeah, so that is why I would say all technology guys should, because they do not interact much with the
yeah.
people. They do not talk too much. If they go and talk, say nowadays uh, people don't go much into the field visits unless and until it is asked for, or it is part of their job profile.
Mm.
So they don't go. And there is a bit, I would say, a dome created by techies, that this is their job, this is not their job. Driven by, I agree that in other than India, I have seen that there are very specific roles. So if I'm in sales, I don't look after marketing also. I don't took any other job also. But for India and for a personal growth, so that is why I prefer, even I suggest to my own son, like he's today 19 and doing
Okay.
his engineering. So I'm telling him that you should not be in a specific time frame of a mind, that I will do this only, or I will do that only. So that is why I prefer startups to work,
Yeah. That's
because
where you get
uh,
everything.
you get everything. You have to do everything. Whatever comes your way, you have to do everything there. And that's the real training.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And how is your journey in Cloud Checker? I believe you're the partner there.
oh yeah, Cloud Checker is a very fantastic one. In fact, Cloud Checker had no footprints in India, and but they were getting inquiries from India, and due to the time zone difference, they had no one to look after those, and that is where my entry was. And
Okay.
I took that assignment in hand. I was nurturing the leads, and again, I just left my job, past job, with a business unit head, and with Cloud Checker, it was kind of a development job also.
Oh.
So, but it was a very, it sounds very interesting
Mhm.
to nurture the leads, talking to a very great tool, and talking about cloud tools and talking about clouds, because cloud has always been my interest. So, so because of that, I took it. So I did not think that way, that I have I was working as a business unit head in a past company, so I should grow as maybe a general manager or a vice president or something. But it was very interesting for me, so I took it that assignment as assignment in my hand, and I started nurturing it. And today again, I'm working as a partner development manager there. So I am into a growth. I'm handling everything over here, but the nurturing part has been assigned to some of the junior subordinates now, and I'm more taking care on the demos and discussions and
Okay.
growth, development growth and all. But it has been a fantastic journey. Yeah, I would say.
I was looking at your website. You provide services to companies that have cloud-based solutions, something like
Correct.
that.
Those companies, those are into public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP. They require uh, maybe for their customers, if they are managed service providers, or maybe the enterprise directly. Into that, see, cloud has a widespread into various departments of enterprises as well. So at times, what they feel is if some department has spun up some of the resources, it's very difficult for them to track it, IT team to track it. So we provide a simple way in a single unified window to the enterprises so that they can manage their cloud infrastructure, their cost optimization postures, their chargebacks, their showbacks within the organization from a single window. They should not go to separate tools provided by the native public providers and do it. But rather than doing that, they can get reports as well. They can get insight as well, and that makes their job more easier for the solution architect or the DevOps or the managed service provider pre-sales teams. Those who want to get more business, they can use this tool as their pre-sales efforts to show anomalies into the cloud platforms, public cloud platforms.
Okay. So what kind of customers are they like?
I have almost all like large managed service providers to small development companies, those who are using companies, those who are using public cloud platform and providing app supports to enterprises and providing cloud along with their app. Those also are my customers. So I have a wide range
Wide
of
range.
customers. Yeah, wide range of customers.
Do you find sometimes that most customers make the same mistake that you have to correct?
Majority of the time with the cloud, always I have seen enterprises and managed service providers who manages enterprises also, they get lost between the overall picture of what the cloud is or where all the cloud is and what should they do, because after doing migration, see, majority of the service providers, they suggest migrations to the cloud. Yes, it is obviously a good path, but then too, the majority of them are doing a mistake of replicating the infrastructure, same as on-prem to the cloud. And again, the customer sees this, oh, there's no there's no cost optimization they see after migrating to that. So their majority of the partners come to us or customer comes to us that they don't want to see that where they can save the cost after using cloud. After using cloud, after migration, they don't see any cost optimization into their environment. So those all pain areas we take care. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of security, how do you help them? Some offerings.
Yes, security we help them with. We have our own ways. We provide best practices based on the shared responsibility model suggest, or based on our experiences from the field. We provide so many best practices checks that can suggest you that these are the vulnerabilities into your infrastructure today. Plus, we have security compliance 35 ready-made compliance framework so that you can be audit ready for those like HIPAA, PCI DSS, NIST, CSI benchmark. So all those compliance, we provide them ready-made available.
Okay, so you help them rework their system for the given compliance.
Even compliance,
Okay,
yes.
that's interesting. And so, like, how many customers do you meet every day? Like your
In this pandemic, not anyone. And honestly speaking, since I have joined CloudCheckr, I have hardly met to any of the person in person.
Okay,
I would say only I met some of the companies in AWS Summit.
okay,
But other than that, I have not gone for any of the personal meetings. I use this Zoom meetings and everything.
yeah, but on Zoom, like,
Yeah,
how
like
many?
Zoom meetings or any Microsoft meeting or
Okay,
whatever is the bridge. But I
okay,
use this online video meetings only.
okay. No, but like, my question is, how many do you interact every day?
Oh, yeah, lot many. I usually talk to odd 30 odd people every day.
Every day. Oh wow, that's a
Every
lot.
day.
That
Yeah.
must be a taxing day.
Oh yeah, it's well, so many of the times it happens that if I have some of the demos or some training calls to the existing partners and all, I don't talk individual people much. I talk to a team.
Okay,
But I won't say individually 30 people I would talk every day. But yeah, individually almost 10 people I would talk every day.
okay,
Other than I have maybe demo call or maybe overview call or maybe a
okay.
training existing customer training call for the teams. So I usually talk in that way.
That's that's a good amount of work every day.
Oh yes. It's a full around 8 to 9 hours
8 to 9 hours.
9 hours
Okay,
work
that's interesting.
usually.
So
So that is
like,
how, and I love to talk to people because it has been a part of my journey since I
yeah,
started my career. So I
mm,
love to talk to people. Yeah, what I'm missing is not meeting people.
yeah,
But then due to this since past 2 years, like 1.5 years, initially I decided not to move out and meet people
mm,
because of I had some of the responsibilities that I cannot move out from the
okay,
location. I cannot go out the location. And majority of see, I am in a city where
mm,
I have little large customers for cloud technologies, I would say.
mm, okay,
So I used to talk with companies and MSPs
mm,
in Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, those
okay,
cities more. So that is why I usually do not prefer to travel more.
okay.
So
That's
otherwise, in
interesting.
Ahmedabad, if anything is there, I usually go and meet personally only.
Okay, that's interesting. So, like, coming to the next point, some fresh graduates passing out of college, how would you guide them? Like, most of the graduates have no idea about what is going in the industry. They
Absolutely.
just hear some nicknames and they want to chase it.
Absolutely. So, what I would suggest is that, like, in the fourth year of the graduation, undergraduation, or maybe if they are into the masters, I don't know, but masters, I don't think so. They majorly have got challenge. But I would suggest after undergraduation, at least they should work for 1 or 2 years before they go for masters.
Okay.
That gives them a fair idea of what they want to do in their
Mm,
future career because technology graduates they have a very vast field. Some of them they go after technology but they have good sense or they have interest in management. So after doing their undergraduation, if they go for 1 or 2 year of experience, they would come to know what is better or what makes them more interested. So many
okay.
of the times it happens that they go for a work and they one fine day they see that no, this is no interest to them. They want to do this because they are not clear. They're not clear
Yeah.
what they wanted to do when they pass out. And because we do not have such kind of a curriculum in
Yeah.
the engineering colleges, like other than IITs or maybe BITS or some of the renowned institutes, we do not have a very very good exposure to students in universities and colleges. Maybe those scenarios are getting changed, but what I have observed since now, till now, is I've like IITians and some of the good renowned institutes. Those students have good exposure in terms of those who are graduating from other universities, in terms of communication skills. So they measure like in terms of communication skills, I would say.
Okay.
Their writing skills, their communication skills, what what they want, they are not clear. So from the third year of their undergraduation, at least they should start searching, because now they have so many stuff available on internet. They can read so many things about their own interest, and they can find out, like they have LinkedIn, so they can connect to the people in which industry or in which area they want to pursue the work, and they can connect with them. They can start talking with them, or they can see some of the webinars or some of the good stuff they keep on posting, and they can get. So by the time of the campus, or by the time they are passing out, they at least have some of the ideas about the industry.
Okay. And if somebody wants to get into sales, then any particular exercise that you would tell them to brush up their skills, or?
There is no, it is only the experience. They just have to jump in and get it experienced. Yeah.
There's no shortcut.
There's no shortcut to it. There's no shortcut to sales now. Time. Just jump in.
Just jump in and just talk to people and try to convince
Talk to people, try to understand what you are selling first bitterly, and then go to people, try and understand their mindsets, their psychology. The psychology plays a key role when you sell something. So that's the key to understand the pain points. Just talk to the people straight on their pain points. Do not go round and round. So just understand people. Listening skill is very important. Listen to people more.
Okay. That was nice.
And I don't know how I have interviewed with you, but this is in a kind of a first interview for me, which I have given on for this context. So yeah, I don't know how helpful to, and I hope it will helpful to the purpose that you are going to serve.
I'm sure it is helpful, because people really need to understand sales. Most of the techies, as you said, they just focus on coding. They don't realize that the code is redundant unless somebody uses it.
Absolutely. So that's the gap. That's it. There's a huge gap there. So they know how to code it, but before, if they want to code something, like I received this feedback long back, they should understand what people wants, or what is the problem, where are the problems, what they are trying to solve with this. So if they understand before they write code, that will give a more logical coding or a more fruitful coding.